Hello beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Miss Linda, a special needs educator, and today we have a guest. So grab your book, grab your pen, we gotta have to learn. So I will welcome my guest on my channel. Welcome.
Okay, thank you, Miss Linda. I am Miss Mercy Ambale, a special needs teacher. So today we are going to talk about learning disabilities, specific learning disabilities. So I think most of you have heard about learning disabilities, but you don't have that much information about learning disabilities. So today we are just going to give you a very simple breakdown of what learning disability is. So learning disability, in a very simple definition, is the learning disability is the issue with the brain to process information.
Inability of the brain to handle what Mercy is saying, the inability of the brain to process information.
Sure.
Yes, and that's what we call learning disability.
Sure.
And we are doing learning disability, Mercy, because we found out that that was the most requested topic by the parent.
Yeah.
So that's why we decided today we are just going to talk about learning disability. But can we really talk of all the learning disability?
So learning disability is so wide. It's a very wide topic. It's a very wide topic. So today we won't go to so many learning disability categories. We just go to a few. So let me go straight to what learning disability is. How it affects learning. So
and how we can now come the strategies of how you can help your learner who has challenges with the learning difficulties.
Yeah.
And you see, Mercy, we can't like cover all the learning disabilities.
Sure.
So under learning disability, we're just going to cover one type of learning disability.
Sure.
But before we look at that one type of learning disability, let Mercy define for us what is learning disability. For those who are watching and wondering, what is those learning difficulties we are talking about?
Sure.
Yeah, because some talk of learning disabilities, other talks of learning difficulties. Now, the learning difficulties, learning disability, it's the same thing. Yeah, sure. So Mercy is just going to introduce to us what is learning. If you're watching and you don't even know what is those learning difficulties, maybe you are a teacher, Mercy will just define. This is a very simple definition of what is learning difficulties.
Okay,
Mercy.
So as we've said, learning difficulties is the issue with the brain to process information. So learning difficulties affects the various aspects of learning.
Sure.
For example, we have reading, we have spelling, we have comprehension, we have attention span too, we have memory, and also
cognition.
Yeah, cognition.
Well. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you'll find that a learner with the learning difficulties
will have challenges in those areas.
Yeah, we have challenges in those areas. Therefore, this child will not be able to learn as the typical children in class. So you as a teacher or as a parent, when you see there are some signs of learning difficulties in your child,
or rather the child has been assessed,
and the diagnosis is, let's say, learning difficulties, one of the learning difficulties, so you really have to come up with strategies and interventions to help the child overcome those learning difficulties and to learn like any other child.
Sure.
Yeah, because any child can learn.
And now I'll just mention few. I'm saying few because learning difficulties is very broad.
Sure.
Very broad.
Sure.
So I'm just going to mention, Mercy, few categories, actually 4 categories of learning difficulties, so that we can just go to one specific learning difficulty. And the 4 categories of learning difficulties is, we have dyslexia, we have dyscalculia, we have dysgraphia, and we have The fourth one?
Yeah.
Good. Those are the 4. And we have others. That's not their final. No. We have others. But for today, we are going to discuss more on dyslexia. And now what is dyslexia? Linda, you are umetuambia learning difficulties, what it is. Now what is dyslexia? You have in your mind what is learning difficulties. Now what is dyslexia?
Okay. So dyslexia being one of the learning difficulties. So one type of learning difficulties. So dyslexia, this specific learning difficulty that affects the ability to read, to comprehend, to spell, to process language, and many others. There are so many.
And now as we have told you what is dyslexia, you have told you what is learning difficulty. Now we go straight on how can we support a learner who has dyslexia. What are the early interventions or the strategies we can support a learner who has dyslexia? You have no learner with dyslexia have phonological processing difficulties. If your child has issues with sounds,
words, understanding words, sentences,
and letters. That is what it is on the broad part of phonological. How are we going to support that? How can I improve child's way of spelling? How can I improve my child's way of listening skills? Because listening skill is also affected for children who have dyslexia. How can we improve the way the child with dyslexia can process things like, things like rhyming words, because they have struggles with the rhyming words. So how do we support, or what are the strategies, what are the intervention strategies we as educators, because you have come together to give you strategies that you can do at home. Here there is nothing we are telling you go and buy. No. We are giving you activities that you can do right there at home, that you can practice. If you are a teacher and watching this in your classroom with your learners who have these challenges with reading, because dyslexia is also reading difficulties as well.
Reading disability.
So how can we support that? What are the interventions that you can come up with? One, when we want to improve their listening skill, we can practice what we call storytelling.
And this is in the early intervention. Early intervention, when you realize that your child has learning difficulties, specifically dyslexia. You see, we've said that it affects how a person or a child processes information. So you can give, if you have a mat, by the way, mat is the best place for a child to learn. A mat.
The mat that Mercy has letters?
Mat, you sit down in the mat, the carpet.
So there are even mats that have letters that you can use for early intervention for learners to get the sounds and letters. You can get mat in your house and they have letters. That is one way of helping with phonological. Recognizing the sounds, recognizing the letters. So another thing is now the picture reading. Creating stories using the picture. So for me, I have a picture there. Can you see it? Or if you don't see it, it's just okay. You can just go and download these in a picture. You can even draw your own picture. If you're a good parent who can draw, or a good teacher who can draw. You can draw a picture. Then let the child tell
a story from that. And by the way, as a teacher or a parent, kindly start from known to unknown. When working with these children, make sure you give them the pictures of things that they understand. That they can be easily found in the environment. That's when a child will have a story to tell. But don't bring things that are strange.
Like now what I'm holding, you can see this is a child building blocks. This is another child reading a book. So how can a child create a story? Can they tell you what exactly is happening here? That one will improve you can even tell them and them to tell you. You know, have the chance. They tell you, you tell them. That can improve their listening skills. And also you can hear their words. They can speak what they are able and create their own story.
Sure. Another thing is instructions. Giving instructions. But giving instructions is a very important part in phonological, because when you give instruction in a very simple way to a child. Start with even one word, by even pointing at that thing. Maybe you are telling the child, come. So show a sign of come. In this manner, a child will be able to understand.
Sure.
Remember, children with dyslexia have issues with processing information. So when you have instructions sometimes with pictures, it's also important in that. So when you are done with one word, then you can go to 2 words instructions, then 3 words instruction,
as to sentence,
bit by bit,
until you can have instructions with the sentences.
Sure.
Knowing this is a struggle with brain processing.
Sure.
So whatever Mercy is saying is, don't have as many ones as, just have simple ones.
Known to unknown.
And giving instruction, don't need to buy anything to give instructions. You just need to start today, right now as I'm speaking, by giving instruction to if your child has dyslexia. And you see what you're talking about is early intervention. This may not be applied to those who are 10 years or 12 years. This will only apply to early ages. Are we together, parent? Are we together, teachers? Early ages. This is not for children who are 10 years. When it comes to giving instruction and the pictures as picture telling. Another way of improving phonological processing, it is what we call mimicking.
Sure.
Mimicking is whereby you speak and then the child now copy you. You know, you mimic. You do something and then the child now repeat. You say they repeat. You say they repeat. Those also can apply to children in the early ages from 6 years and below. This can apply to them.
Sure.
The next video we'll also try to make sure because we'll have different videos on dyslexia, because this is a very broad. We can't just finish it with one video. It is a very broad area. So lastly, the other thing we'll be talking about is the rhyming ones. And Mercy
and the rhyming ones can start in early stages. As the moment the child has been, the signs has been seen and the child has been assessed, and it has been found that the child has dyslexia. So you can introduce this child to rhyming words. They can say the rhyming words. They can identify the rhyming words. You can start with the simple rhyming words.
Mercy, which age? When it comes to rhyming ones?
For example, like 5 years.
6, okay,
5.
6.
Like the 3-letter words. The 3-letter words, we have rhyming words for 3-letter words. We have bat, we have rat, we have so many
other ones.
That's
just an example.
These are just examples. So
you can make your own rhyming ones at home.
So the rhyming words, they continue to progress as the child grows. So it's better you introduce the child to rhyming words as early as possible.
If they are 4 years, you can start with these ones Mercy has shown us, the rat and the bat. These are the 3-letter one. You can start with that. As now they proceed, you can have the 4-letter one. You have the goat and the boat. You know, you can have these as the rhyming ones. Introduce them as they see, they recognize, and they'll be able now to get the spelling, because dyslexia affects spelling. So as they see, they're able to get the spelling. As they see the pictures, they're able to comprehend. That's why we're using the pictures. And this can go all even to 7 years. The comprehending. And then also the mimicking. You can even mimic the sound of a goat and a cow more. The duck quack quack, especially for the 3 years old, the quack quack, if you have already know they have dyslexia.
Let it be a game. Don't let it be that serious. You know, first of all, this child already has difficulties. Don't again make
it very
so make it be fun as you do all these activities. Then even instructions is also part of comprehension. So as you're working with this, you are really working across.
Yeah.
So make sure these small things that we ignore are very, very important.
Taken care of.
Yeah.
Oh, we have come to the end of our video today. We also have another thing. We have so many things on dyslexia and more activities. So make sure you watch the next video. Subscribe. Share this video with everyone that you know, with all the teachers and with all the parents. Grab them and let them learn more about learning difficulties and specifically dyslexia. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video. God bless.